Welcome to Balor Otherworld. Guys, you are welcome. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm sorry, I've been up to my eyeballs. I've been doing live performances at visitor centres for private groups. I've been doing tours of all across Ireland. I've been to Newgrange and we've been to Dublin. We've been performing everywhere. So if you are interested in live storytelling or meeting me and getting a bit more of the Irish folktales, the myths, the legends and a bit of history thrown in, do hit me up. You'll find me under Balor Otherworld and let's make a unique experience of your time in Ireland. Work in schools as well, so I've been very busy with the schools. Thank you all for the support. It's what keeps me going. And I have a new story for you. This is a story that I've been interested in for many years, and I finally got the time to research it a bit more, so I'm going to do it justice today. This is the tale of Dolocher, Ireland's Jack the Ripper. And he comes before Jack the Ripper. See, everything starts in Ireland, most important country in the world. Woohoo! Let's dive straight into the tale. So, Dolocher, this nasty little creature. This tale begins with a man, a criminal in Dublin called Dolocher. He is a ne'er-do-well who commits a terrible crime. He kills a woman, a beautiful woman, an innocent person. And as punishment for his crime, he is sentenced to death. So he is kept in Black Dog prison awaiting his execution. Now before he's executed, they keep an eye on him. They don't want anything to happen to him. They don't want him to escape either. But the night before he is due to be executed, they discover him in his cell with his head severed from his shoulders. They're wondering what in the name of God has happened to him. Who did this? It's chalked up that he must have been able to get his hands on a knife. I don't know what kind of knife he was using. But they bury him and they say, that's it, story's over. Happy Halloween. Except it's only the beginning of this tale. Because Dolocher, a few nights later, a prison guard is stationed near his cell and he hears a scratching noise. And he goes to investigate. And this noise leads him to Dolocher's cell. And when he goes to open the door to Dolocher's cell, he is knocked to the floor and attacked by a half-pig, half-man monster. It tears at him and screams and howls as it attempts to devour him. The man, the guard, he is terrified. He shouts and screams, "Help, help, help!" And all of his cries are answered. The other guards come running, and by the time they arrive, the creature is long gone. But the guard, he is in a state of panic. He's never felt such fear. He's never been faced with such an unknowable evil in his life. And he says, "It's the spirit of Dolocher, risen from the dead. He was so vile, so evil, so cruel, that he crawled his way out of hell, and he has manifested himself as this cruel apparition, seeking vengeance on the people of Dublin." The other guards don't buy it though. They think, this lad was probably drinking a few whiskies on duty, and he's just a bit overexcited. Sure, he was attacked, but probably a wild boar or a man holding a wild boar. But it couldn't have been what he was describing, because that just doesn't exist. Or does it? So a few nights pass, and as this is winter time, and the nights are very long, the days are very short, and there are a lot of attacks taking place in Dublin. People are reporting some foul beast, half man, half pig, accosting them as they make their way through the city at night. And it becomes clear that the prison guard, he wasn't hallucinating. There is indeed a monster on the prowl in Dublin city, terrorising the people and holding everyone captive, fearful to go outside lest they become its next victim. So, the creature isn't finished with the prison yet, because one of the guards on duty, who is stationed in front of Dolocher's cell, he vanishes. They don't know what happens to him. But when his colleague comes to relieve him from his post, they don't find any trace of him. All that's left are pieces of his uniform, torn to ribbons and scattered around the corridor outside Dolocher's cell. And his gun, unfired, propped up against the wall. And people realise this prison guard has been devoured and torn to pieces by Dolocher, which is the new name they give to the creature. And people are in a state of panic. They don't know what to do. Thankfully, over the weeks, the days start to grow longer, the nights grow shorter, and the creature's attacks become less and less frequent until they stop altogether in the height of summer. And the people of Dublin begin to dream and hope and wish that the creature has gone. It's died or been banished, or it moved on to some other city to terrorise other unfortunate souls. And that lasts until October, when, as we approach the more mythical and spooky time of year, and the nights grow longer again and the days grow shorter, the creature begins its attacks once more. And this time, the city doesn't know how. The whole city loses its mind. They're screaming, they're howling. What's going on with this creature? What are we going to do? It's the end of all. And in that state of paranoia and fear, there is a meeting in one of the pubs, in one of the taverns. There's a debate going on between different people trying to figure out what to do, what is going on. And different people have different theories. They're throwing out mad ideas. But one man, one anonymous figure, he says, I believe the creature is hiding in plain sight. It disguises itself as a regular black pig in Dublin, and when it's time to attack, it transforms into a were-pig, where it attacks its victims. And people were ready to believe anything. So they say, well, what should we do? How do we get rid of it? He says, well, when it's in pig form during the day, you can kill it easily, because it's just like every other pig. But how do we know which pig to kill? Well, you better get them all so. And the mob formed, and the following day they went out and they found each and every pig in Dublin and they butchered them, and they left the streets running red with the blood of the swine of Dublin city. And that should be the end of it. They surely got the creature somewhere in all the hundreds of pigs they killed. They must have got it. But the following morning, after everyone goes to bed thinking job done, when they wake up, they see that every pig's carcass has been taken off the city streets. There is no sign of Dolocher or what happened to him. There's no evidence that he was killed, and there's no sign of what happened to those pigs. And the attacks continue. People don't know what to do. They're in fear for their lives. And into this state of paranoia the city was experiencing walks a blacksmith from down the country in Ireland. This blacksmith comes into the city, and he is looking to do some business. You know, he has some errands to attend to in the city. So he's heard about this. People all over Ireland are hearing rumours about Dolocher, but they don't believe them. They think, the lads in Dublin, sure, look, they've had a couple too many pints of Guinness. They should ease off, or maybe they're not as hardy as us fellas down the country. So he's done his business for the day, and he's in a tavern, and he's having a drink, he's having a chats with a few lads, and he says, oh geez lads, you know what, I have to get the train now, I better go, I'll see you later. But as he goes for the door, he opens the door and he looks outside. It is pouring rain. It's dreadful weather outside, and the poor blacksmith, he forgot to bring any kind of a coat with him. So he says into the bar, here, has anyone got a spare cloak or something? So the barman, he has a few coats there, and most of them belong to his mother-in-law, who he evidently didn't like too much, because he gives all of her old cloaks and coats and hats to the blacksmith. The blacksmith is a lot bigger than the mother-in-law, but he throws them all on in a big heap, so he looks like a very untidy old woman or hag, a giant hag moving through Dublin, because he shuts the door, he's his face all covered up, and he's making for the train before he misses it. On his way, he is attacked by Dolocher. Dolocher throws him up against the wall and starts to howl and scratch and tear at his flesh, injuring the blacksmith very badly. Now, blacksmiths are incredibly strong men, and using his ferocious strength, the blacksmith beats this beast and fights back, and he knocks it down on its ass, and he runs over to grab a tuft of its hair. He wants to pull the beast up so that he can hit it again. But as he pulls hard on its head, the head pops off, and the dazed blacksmith takes 2 steps back in absolute shock. He looks up at the head, this ferocious beast's head in his hand, and he looks down at the shoulders of Dolocher, and he sees underneath this horrific mask was a man. And this man was none other than the guard who disappeared. The guard whose gun and uniform was found outside Dolocher's cell. And a mob forms. A mob is heard. Dolocher's caught! Dolocher's caught! They run and start attacking the figure on the ground, badly injuring him. He has to be taken to hospital before the police can arrest him, and they decide to interrogate him there, where he admits that he created this figure. He created this costume as a way to attack people and rob them in the dead of night. And he admits that he faked his own disappearance so no one would suspect him. And he admits that he started the rumour about killing the pigs in Dublin, so that night he could go around the city and collect all the pigs and go down to Kildare and County Meath and the rest of the country and sell those pigs to the butchers. And he made a tidy profit from it. So the man had a plan, but he didn't account for a blacksmith, a super-powered strong man, to be disguised as an old woman. He didn't account for it, and he thought he was robbing an old granny, and he bit off more than he could chew. And the man, before he could be interrogated further, died of his injuries. So the problem we have now is there are 2 schools of thought about what happened at the beginning of the story. Some people believe that Dolocher was in the cell, and this guard came into the cell, unbeknownst to anyone else, killed Dolocher, and then built up the entire myth of the monster and attacked his colleague a couple of nights later. But other people aren't so quick to believe this. Some people believe that Dolocher is the emergence of a creature so foul, so evil from hell that attached to Dolocher's soul, and that this man, he was only imitating the beast, that those initial attacks, they were a real beast. And some people in Dublin around Christchurch Cathedral to this very day claim that if you go around the city in the dead of night, in and around Halloween, you yourself may find yourself face to face with Dolocher, the true beast of Dublin. I don't know about you. I'm not sure I'd be brave enough to wander the streets at night. If any of you are, let me know how you get on. If you have heard of the tale of Dolocher before, tell me the version you've heard, and let's keep these stories alive. It's so important. Please, guys, share the video, give it a like, throw a comment in. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please try to help support us as we try to grow Irish storytelling. Have a great Halloween. Hit me up. I hope to see some of you at some of the events I'm going to be performing at over the coming days. And above all, stay safe. Because you never know what's around the corner.